been able to do this together because we have grown up together. And there was a time when women would not be invited to the table that we get to sit at now. It was it was not even thought of, but it was almost how cute, how adorable that you'd think you could be a producer of a show.
Can be your greatest advantage. So we're so lucky we've known each other, but that we were able to call each other and say, this is a great book.
Yeah.
But do you want to do this? Because I'm not going to do it unless you do it. So
I would never think my baby sister on Friends would become my producing partner and starring, partner in crime in one of the greatest shows that I personally feel that has been made of.
And the longest job of my life.
It's probably the only show I've been a part of that is so we're current. Everything, and we did not intend to be a show that was, that way. But we, once the Me Too movement happened, and we had half of our scripts written, we had to you couldn't avoid incorporating that issue into the scripts. So. And then as the season kept going and our writers kept writing, it just became very topical of what was going on in the real world versus, and art imitating life imitating art. It's very exciting because you sort of wait to see, did our writers see again into their crystal ball? And is this actually going to happen? And then sure enough, a lot of things just tend to happen. It's just an exciting show to be a part of. It really is.
Add on to what Jen was saying, I think it's just very forward thinking, the show. It's dealing with things that people are talking about right now. We're talking about AI. We're talking about workplace. What's that?
Deep fakes.
Deep fakes, yeah. Workplace dynamics that are always prevalent. High net worth individuals buying networks, buying rockets.
Yeah.
Like that.
Billionaires and rocket ships. Who thought that would ever happen?
It's fun to be part of a show where you're really talking about things that people are discussing at their dinner tables.
Yeah. And to also pull the curtain on what goes on and how the sort of inner conflicts that people are walking through in order to sort of maintain their journalistic integrity and also keep their jobs and not get fired. There's a lot of crazy corporate static.
Kind of at odds with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but you have a reason.
I do have a reason
about my character.
Right, because I don't think you understand the full picture of why I'm hesitant to have you back in my apartment.
Yeah.
Without saying.
And you're in a new leadership role, and
yes.
I'm a wild card.
Right. And I am. So exactly. So I've taken over this leadership role, and I'm trying to see the bigger picture. And is this going to be a good thing for the network or a bad thing for the network? And she's always doing something that you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen because she's sort of, as she said, a wild card.
This season really shows women in leadership roles behind the scenes, in the boardroom, having ownership over the network, and sort of the dynamics that happen between female power players. Mm-hmm. So that's something you don't see a lot because it doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
So they're imagining a whole world. One character, Marion Cotillard's family owns the network, and obviously Alex Levy has been there for years as an employee and a really important part of the on-camera talent. But now she's in a position of having to be in charge of the budgets and
all the unsexy stuff.
Yeah.
The real, yes. And
I think it's really well played because you guys, it's not a natural relationship between the two of you. There's a lot of friction.
Yes. And women are a little more in tune with emotions and aren't as cutthroat. So hard decisions that have to be made are really hard, which there are a lot of. kind of can't believe how lucky we were that these actors wanted to be a part of our show. Marion Cotillard, Jeremy Irons, Boyd Holbrook. Oh my God, am I forgetting someone? Just an incredible group of actors that we got to work
really
with.
Lucky.
And also easy to work with and fun, and yeah, it's very exciting. It's a really exciting season, and every one of those actors plays a fantastic character. Almighty Jeremy Irons, I was so nervous to meet him, and boy, was he so disarming and lovely. A big kid, playful, like an actor's actor. He's finished a take. How was that? Was that good? Should we do it again? He's just divine. And I was so excited that we were having Alex's father on, be a part of this show this season, just so that we could sort of peel back and understand what made Alex Alex. Why is she sort of such a loner? Why are her relationships not working? Why is she such a workaholic? Why, is she sort of so lonely ultimately? So it was nice to sort of get to see a little bit of why that all is.
It informs your character, but it's also very funny. The dynamics that have anybody out there with a parent who's aging.
Yes.
It's very funny. There's some great scenes and an entire episode that is sad, tragic, but also if you're living that reality, very relatable.
Very relatable. Oh, and boy, you just reminded me, that's so heartbreaking. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of season 3, Bradley is in this terrible position because she discovered that her brother was part of the insurrection on January 6th, and she redacted the footage that she had recorded of him in order to save him from prosecution. So she ultimately decides to turn herself into the FBI. This is the first time you've seen her kind of feeling a little cowardly and a little quiet, which was fun to play.
And vulnerable. Very,
yeah.
a little tentative and not your spitfirey, let's go get him stuff at the beginning. Humbled.
She's been stepped on.
Yeah. Alex's character, it's, now being in the position of greater power in the C-suite and realizing what a cutthroat experience that is. Be careful what you wished for. Basically corruption does not know gender. It's sort of, it takes... So there's a wonderful exploration of, wanting a position of power, and then the internal conflict of interest that she is constantly grappling with. We're now in a groove. Obviously, because it's been four seasons, but 900 years. Now the show just sort of beautifully runs itself, and we have our producerial team is so fantastic. There's certain areas where I do not excel, where Reese does, and, or someone else is. There's just a really beautiful collaboration in shorthand, I would say.
Yeah. I think it's sort of seamless and effortless at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to come back to the show. And
it feels like we never left.
Who do you trust? Who do consumers actually look for the truth? What is the truth? So we're really lucky that we had already established this format, and then we get to expand into all these different storylines. Like, why are podcasters so important right now? Should we be believing them, or should we be believing NPR? Wait, NPR is defunded. So we have...
You're like, how did NPR being defunded? How is this happening?
How is that happening? And we've been able to track it and trace it over the past, 7 years that we've been making the show. So modern broadcasting and journalism unravel in this kind of soapy, fun format too. We get to learn about the what goes on behind the scenes as well.
More directors, more writers, more, just more creatives behind the camera, right?
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's so exciting that we've been able to do this together because we have grown up together. And there was a time when women would not be invited to the table that we get to sit at now. It was it was not even thought of. It was almost how cute, how adorable that you'd think you could be a producer of a show.
Right.
So we're hopefully, if we're able to inspire young women to just go for what you want and go for the gold. There's no just don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, I would just add on to that to say collaboration can be your greatest advantage. So we're so lucky we've known each other, but that we were able to call each other and say, "This is a great book.
Yeah.
But do you want to do this? Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it unless you do it." So the power of us working together is really what made this happen from the beginning. Yeah.
It's so true. I would never think my baby sister on Friends
I would have never
would become my producing partner and starring, partner in crime in one of the greatest shows that I personally feel
Yeah.
that has been made of.
Yeah, and the longest job of my life. Well, just that, certain things they don't move, right? Family can be very, very important and very stabilizing, or it can be also your friendships can be much more important than that too. So there's things about this world that very much mirror the film and television world where, there's a lot of phoniness, but who your real friends are, who really shows up for you, is usually a very small group of people. And that, I think, is at the heart of this show.
It's very true.
Journalism is so important, and the ability to look at things from a vantage point that's not being manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that I am confused all the time. Like, I don't know sometimes what to trust or where to get news from. So
I know. And if you're scrolling, it's the almighty algorithm, because if you spend 2 minutes or it's over 3 seconds or whatever it is on a certain clip of something, then you start getting and you're just even trying to understand or hear something out, then you're getting fed that exact same information. So no wonder some people believe something completely different than, say, another person will believe something completely different. It's very it's hard to know where the truth actually does lie.
It's also interesting to watch the rise of the individual journalist as a voice to be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing that more and more now, and I'm interested to follow that space. Can that voice that feels so independent be corrupted by greed or the ability to buy their company?
Yes,
that kind of thing.